Hello, I'm your superhero critic, and I'll stay super as long as you stay awesome. And it's once again time to look at Power Rangers, the movie. The film version of Power Rangers was recorded in 1995 and released in June. Due to it being filmed in Australia, the actors recorded this and the wedding three-part episode at the same time, of course not being paid well for either. The film itself would be a sort of alternate universe style film where those who have never seen the show could just jump into the film knowing everything off the bat. The alluded placement of the film would be at the end of season 2 and would drastically take a different turn within the show. For example, the villain of Ivan Ooze would be replaced with Rito Revolto in the show, and instead of finding Dulcia, they would find Ninjor. The plot of the movie itself would be Zed and Rito would find an intergalactic evil being named Ivan Ooze, who would be too much for our heroes and take away the majority of their powers. So they would have to go on a quest to get their power back and deal with Ooze. So let's see if my thoughts on this film have changed at all. This is Power Rangers the movie. We begin with a text crawl. The crawl basically explains to non-fans of the franchise who Zordon and the Power Rangers are before we jump to the teens with attitude doing what all 90s teenagers do, fucking skydiving for charity. Bulk and Skull decide that they want to go first.
Hey guys! You might want to slip those on.
Good idea.
The teens jump one by one while shouting something 90s. Look, I understand that the Ninja Turtles weren't introduced in the Power Rangers timeline until in space, but the fact that no one screams cowabunga when they jump out the fucking plane is a missed opportunity, and that irks me. The skydivers land one by one as we meet a boy named Fred, who's never in the franchise again, but he looks up to Tommy and his father, all while Bulk and Skull finally get the courage to jump before we get another sports montage this time. The Rangers then switch to skating, taking a shortcut through a construction site, and our bumbling duo finally land inside the construction site. One of the things about this movie that has always irked me is how long were Bulk and Skull left in that plane? Because the way that the movie is presented to us, they drop directly after the Rangers skate through the construction site. So you're telling me that they were stuck in that plane from the time that the Rangers landed. They got changed after more than likely having a long conversation with Fred and his father, then changed outfits, put on skates, and skated around Angel Grove, all before they landed. Yeah! Show us that side of the story!
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Bulk and Skull roll a nat 20 on their deception rolls as the lead construction worker questions them before he's called on by a coworker because they end up unearthing a massive silver hand holding onto a purple egg. One of the workers learns the hard way not to touch random shit. Alpha contacts the Rangers, so they teleport away, and Zordon lets them know that a being that was trapped 6,000 years ago, named Ivan Ooze, was building machines to overthrow the universe, but was stopped by another set of warriors, and that the Rangers have to stop him from being released. It is now automatically nighttime as Rita and Zed appear with Goldar and Mordant, the movie-exclusive character that is a massive warthog. Zed helps the night guards take a nap.
You say!
I could use that sleep ray, Ivan. Maybe then I could actually get some sleep sometimes. Zed cracks Ivan's egg open, and there's a trans joke in there somewhere, but Rita is not impressed.
What? You spent 2,000 years looking for a tub of snot?
Patience!
If they cleaned it up with Kleenex, you could have a little boogie. I'm sorry. We meet our main villain, Ivan Ooze, who is impressive to look at, and Zed explains who they are and that he wants help to destroy Zordon. This quickly enrages Ivan, and he promises to help in any way he can before Zed's group leaves. We then see Ivan has a super smell.
What is that odious stench? Smells like
Teenagers.
Ah, the smell of teenagers, pizza rolls, and body odor. The Rangers appear, and Ivan is quick to shed his police disguise before both sides start taunting each other.
not much has changed in 6,000 years.
You obviously don't know who you're dealing with, Mr. Raisinhead.
That's very intimidating, Kimmer. Ivan shows no fear despite Tommy warning him who they are.
Oh, where's my autograph book? Ha! Power Rangers, huh?
Ivan Ooze is the level of petty that I wish I could be. Ivan summons a group of Ooze minions, and we get our first unmorphed fight that is complete with a lot of puns and jokes.
Ever play kick the can?
Custom makeup!
Let me get the door! Use, you lose.
Maybe this and Ninja Turtles is why I'm so punny all the time. While the fight showcases everyone's fighting styles and techniques, they eventually get overwhelmed and cornered, forcing them to morph for the first time in an epic morphing sequence that I wish I could show the whole thing of, but of course YouTube will try to flag it because of the music. But if you're a fan of the show, seeing this in theaters or on a grander scale was extremely awesome as a kid. Once the Rangers are morphed, though, the Oozemen have disappeared. Meanwhile, Zordon warns Alpha Ooze is on their way here.
Don't worry, nobody enters the command center without a power coin. Well, almost nobody.
Zordon, the door is leaking! Ivan taunts Zordon after zapping Alpha and decides it's time to destroy the command center as he rants about the things he missed.
The Spanish Inquisition! The Brady Bunch reunion!
The end of Fox Kids and Kids WB! The Rangers continue their search for the Oozemen, showcasing brand new power modes for Aisha and Rocky that are never used again in the franchise, but it helps them find them as the fun fight begins with even more puns and jokes, including Billy and Kimberly having, again, 2 movie-exclusive weapons that are never used again in the franchise. Adam and Rocky work well together, and Tommy brutally kicks the shit out of one of the Oozemen. Eventually, though, Tommy uses Saba to destroy everyone in one fell swoop. Directly after the Oozemen are destroyed, the Rangers begin losing their powers and even can't use their communicators, so they run off to the command center seeing it completely destroyed. And Zordon is sitting in his tube looking like he has the best weighted blanket in the world. But he tells them that the power is no more, no matter how much Kim cries.
Zordon, you can't leave us! Ever since you came into our lives, you've been like a father to us all.
Who's cutting onions? Alpha then tells them there may be a chance and brings up a lost power source on the planet Phaedos that could bring their powers back and save Zordon. They all decide to go anyway, so they head out to investigate it with the last power they have. Zed and Rita, of course, watch as their teleport effects fly by the moon, and Ivan does what everyone has always wanted to do with Rita.
Finally, someone shut her up.
You know what? I could use that ability for some of my exes. Ivan declares himself the new leader and imprisons Rita and Zed into a snow globe, Goldar and Mordan to ask Ivan how he'll handle the Rangers, and he answers with a snot ball that turns into a flock of bird creatures called Tango Warriors that head towards the Rangers, and our heroes find the corpse of a creature as they begin their look for something. Meanwhile, Ivan is in a factory discussing his plans to use Angel Grove's parents to force them to dig for his Morphicons.
With a little bit of Ivan's ooze.
First his loogies turn into birds, now he can make brainwashing liquids. I don't want to know what the rest of his powers are. Tommy and Kimberly try to have a lovely couples chat, but it's interrupted when the Tangas attack, and the Rangers do try to handle themselves, but without powers, they are quickly overwhelmed until help comes from a woman they don't know. After single-handedly kicking the Tangas' asses and using her staff as a whistling deterrent, the Tangas fly away in retreat, and the woman known as Dulcia only demands the Rangers to leave after turning her staff on Rocky and Tommy. One of the interesting behind-the-scenes facts about Dulcia is that she was actually almost the actress from SVU. Rumors are that the original actress was either pregnant or had a surgery and would get replaced, and then the original actress would replace the actress from SVU. And a second note on that was originally Catherine Sullivan, the one who would end up going to play Kat in season 3, originally was one of the actresses who tried out for Dulcia. The world of Power Rangers wraps around its own finger. Dulcia changes her tone. The second Zordon and Ivan are mentioned, taking them to a temple. Meanwhile, on Earth, Fred happens to attend Ivan's disguise of looking like the Great Malenko from ICP, as he's trying to give away jars of ooze to the kids of Angel Grove. Fred's father then is quick to shove his hand in the jar of random ooze that instantly puts him and the rest of the city's parents into a trance.
Then come on down to Ooze City, and let's get sticky!
Oh, we're just done with phrasing, right? That's not a thing anymore?
While Zordon and Alpha worry about everything going on, Dulcia begins giving the Rangers their new powers based on animal spirits. Aisha gets a bear, Rocky is an ape, Billy is a wolf, Kimberly is a crane, Tommy is a falcon, and Adam is not happy.
Adam, what's wrong?
I'm a frog.
So this scene has always resonated with me because of how funny it is. I'm a frog. Apparently, this specific scene was improv'd by Johnny because he felt like Adam would be upset over the fact that he's just a frog. And the fact that they kept this in is hilarious. Okay, back to more movie. Dulcia tells him she cannot help any further as she could die as fast as Zordon before she becomes an owl and flies away. Meanwhile, Fred is trying to find his dad and Ivan gets bored making a random human dance using mind control. The Tangas come back and let him know about Dulcia saving the Ranger, which just pisses Ivan off more.
Do you want us to take another whack at it?
How about taking another quack at it?
The Rangers begin their walking to the sacred temple while Fred finds his dad and sees something wrong, almost getting caught realizing what Ooze is actually up to. The Rangers then find a boneyard and they are attacked by a skeletal triceratops that traps both Aisha and Kimberly, causing Rocky and Tommy to have to save them. And here's another rant for you. I don't like how Kimberly is portrayed in this film. The directors and writers wanted to focus on Tommy's popularity. So they increased everything that Tommy did while decreasing what all of the other Rangers did, especially Kimberly. This entire film, I think there's about 5 times where Kimberly has to be saved by Tommy. She gets grabbed by the Tenga. She, gets grabbed by Ooze. She gets trapped by one of the Stone Warriors. She gets attacked by the Ooze Men. Every fight and situation they get into, they made it so Kimberly has to be saved by Tommy. It is annoying, and Kimberly is not this damsel in distress throughout the show. In fact, a lot of the episodes, she's the one saving the day. It is really annoying for them to decrease Kimberly the way that they do. I don't know if I'm just the only one that is annoyed with that. Let me know if you think the same, but it really frustrated me, even as a child. Tommy figures out how to end the skeleton creature's life.
Got a bone to pick with you!
I'm not gonna do the obvious joke here. Owner. Fred sneaks into Ooze's building as he announces his machines are finally complete and commands the parents to leap to their doom. Ivan then powers up his machines.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
The Rangers find the temple. The next fight starts as the statues come to life, so they call upon their new ninjetti to fight them. A lot of the fighting involves them jumping around to avoid being hit while retreating a lot. Adam helps knock out the first soldier and saving Rocky by kicking him into an acid bath. Tommy and Kimberly crush one of them under a bunch of boulders, and one gets killed by Adam and Billy, making a makeshift vine elevator.
Talk about a splitting headache.
New Ranger Roll! The Tylenol for superheroes. Billy and Tommy knock out the final rock soldiers together, completing their test, and the power presents them as flying animal spirits that fly out. Surround each ranger and give them their full ranger powers back, allowing them to teleport back to Angel Grove that's currently being attacked and destroyed. They arrive at night too late past the destruction, and upon seeing the Morphicons, jump into action to summon their Zords, which are terribly CGI'd, but way better than future Zords are. Meanwhile, Fred does what he can to convince the other kids about the danger their parents are in, and the Zord fight goes just like the shows does, but this time each Ranger gets to show off their own capabilities, to Adam and Billy handling the Scorpion monster, while Rocky and Aisha wrestle around with the Hornet. Kim does what she does best and gets trapped in a beam, needing to be saved yet again.
Right! Now which button?
Any key! Where is the any key? Tommy comes back and helps destroy the Scorpion, which pisses off Ivan, so he fuses himself with the remaining robot, leading to the Rangers to call for their Zords to combine, except for Tommy, who heads to the destroyed monorail track to stop the car from going over and crashing. But of course, this film makes the Rangers incompetent without Tommy, so Ivan overpowers them and tosses them through a building. Tommy attaches the Falcon Zord, starting an airborne chase as Fred and the kids try to stop the parents from jumping. Billy suggests using Orion's Comet to destroy Ivan, so they set up a defensive stature, and Aisha uses the ultimate move of an emergency button that literally lets the Zord knee Ivan in the crotch, causing him to detach and contact the Comet.
Oh no!
Why does the Megazord have a dick-kicking button? What the fuck? With Ivan's death, it clears the mind control on the parents, and the kids all reunite with them. The Rangers get back to Zordon too late, and by some unexplained magical yada yada yada, they help fix the command center and revive a fallen Zordon. The movie then ends with our heroes and Fred enjoying some food and fireworks, which were notoriously used to get extras in the film shots without having to pay them. This movie is what you see. The film would reportedly go over budget and time limits, making a few episodes of season 2, like Party Crasher and Yo Ho Ho, A Bottle of Rangers, go unproduced. However, the amount it made back justified the over budget, as it made $65 million back on its $15 million budget, making its budget back in opening weekend alone. Of course, the majority of critics give it mixed reviews, seeing it as a glorified 3-part episode with a higher budget, and the film would release a video game tie-in on the SNES, Genesis, Game Boy, and Game Gear, as well as a comic book adaptation that I am debating on covering in the future. And, as a Power Rangers fan, it's honestly one of my favorite go-to movies. I always put it on when I'm editing. I always put it on whenever I'm bored. It's one of those movies I watch over and over again, even after I reviewed it 13 years ago. I love this movie, and I honestly think it's the best we could have gotten with this franchise. Mind you, Turbo was terrible, and the 2017 movie, but from there, we got what we got in the 90s. If you're a Power Rangers fan, you obviously love this film. If you're not a fan, you're probably not going to like the concept of the movie at all. So, that being said, I'm your superhero critic, and I'll stay super as long as you stay awesome. The world of Power Rangers wraps around its own finger. I bit my tongue.